Here we go. Another day. Sic frauds prodatorum in rita fuit. So thus the fraud, or deceit of the betrayers, was in vain, in rita. And so, with the ablative absolute, with the enemy defeated, the ruptorem, the breaker of the treaty, metum fufetium, relegatum, that's the supine form. He was tied up between two cuirasses, two chariots, and he was distrahit, torn apart, or torn in different directions, by another ablative set, per nicibus equis, by very fast horses. Qui is the enclitic, it means and alba itself, quam vis, usually means although or however much. I'd say here it's although it was the parent, nevertheless it was the rival of Rome, the parent of Rome, and it was derived, it was destroyed. When Prius first, or before, all the resources, urbis, of the city and the people themselves, it had transferred them to Rome. Okay. Process usually means absolutely or forwards. So that, it's a typo, so that a consanguine civitas, so that a civilization or city, which is a blood relative, should not to have perished. Vitertor means it should not to have seemed to have perished, but again, Rosus, to have returned into its own body, suum corpus. Okay, so that's one whole section there. The next bit, Encus Deinde Marcius. So the next king was this. The Nepos, grandson of Pompilius, from his filia. He was par to his avo, missing in this reading, equal in ingenium, in character, to his grandfather. So therefore, also, at implexus means like the hug or to go around, so there was the wall embraced with another wall, one wall went around another wall, and what is it, with a bridge, the interfluentum Tiber river, so the Tiber was flowing through it. He built one there for the city, commissit, so it means he placed it there. And at Ostia, which is like the mouth of the river, in itself, where the Maris and the Fluminus, where the sea and the river, he placed a colony at Ostia, this place in this region, Confino, where the river and the sea come together. Already then he was obviously praesagian, seeing in advance with his animo, with his mind, in the future, that the opes of the whole world, the resources of the whole world, and the cometus, which is probably the provisions here, here as if it was a maritime hospitio, a place where you receive things, and we have receive there. So here is the place where they would receive all the resources and provisions for the city of the whole world. This would be the maritime area, which we take this into English. I think we have most of these words probably have some sort of English comparison. Posterior, so afterwards, the next guy was Tarquinius Priscus, of origin transmarine, so his origin was over the sea. He was seeking the kingdom, the regnum, from his own accord, ultro. He received it because of his industry and his elegance, or his refinement, as they say. Quipi, since he was Oriundus, since he arose at Corinth, he miscoited, he mixed his ingenium, his character, with arts of the Greeks and the Italians. He also, the Senate, amplified its magister in numero, in number, so he increased the numbers in the majesty of the Senate, and he also increased the missing word, equites, increased the knights with 3 centuries, qua tennis, that's in the tennis family, in as much as or so far as Attius Naevius had prohibited this number to increase, we actually have some more. This could be augury as well as to increase. But he was a man summus in auguries here, so he was a man who liked auguries. We'll just leave that spelling as it is. Quem rex, whom the king, Rogovidid, asked in an experiment or a trial or a test, was he able to Furion, was it able to happen? And that means it's a question. What he himself had conceived in his mind. So the king asked him, is it possible to do what I have in my mind? He, this bloke who liked auguries, expertus, he was since this is the second declension version of it, it means he was expert in it. If it was the third declension type things, it means he doesn't know. Anyway, since he would test the matter with an augury, and he responded, posse, it was possible to be done. Atquin, it's like atqui, usually means in yet or but, or however. This, he said, I was agitating on, I was thinking about, and whether, cotem, a whetstone, possum I'm able to cut, if I'm able to cut this whetstone with an overcooler, with a razor. Then the augur inquired, he said, ergo, therefore then you're able to do it. And the king sequited, he cut it. Then auguries became sacred to the Roman people. Neither in peace, Tarquinius was promptior than in war. So promptior usually means ready or able. So basically the same. He was just as ready in peace as he was in war, you might want to say. Duodecim namque, for the 12 populous people of Tusciae, they're Etruscans or something, he subjugated with frequent clashings of arms. Then the fasces, these are like these rods, the trabea, I think it's a white cloaks or something, which the rulers have, senators have, the curule chairs, the annuli, these are rings or something, the phallera, these are the trappings of horses, I don't know, horse blankets and fancy reins, etc. The palamuda, these are military cloaks. Praetextas, these are another type of clothing, purple garment type thing. And then aureocaros, then with a chariot with gold on it. You would triumph with 4 horses with these chariots. The picta toga, these are painted or embroidered togas and tunics with palms. Palms are one of the things these Romans seem to like. And finally, in short, all decorations and insignia that they would use, in which would emanate or shine the dignitas of their empire. Okay. It's a rather quick history. Servius Tullius, in turn, invaded. Invader just means go, and in means going. So he entered into the gubernacula of the city, which means ruling it. I think in English we have governors are called gubernators or something. Also, the guy who steers the ship's a gubernator. And neither was he inhibited by the obscurity, although he was creatum, he was made from a serva amatri, his mother was a female slave. This didn't stop him. For, what do we got? The ux or lux nominative, the wife of Tarquinius, was Tenaquil. She had a special sort of talents, and she was educated, reared liberally, liberalita, and clarum fore visa, so she had a clear vision around his head. Flame had promised that he would be, in future, he would be clarum, he would be famous. And we'll scroll down here for the day. Ergo inter Tarquini mortem, so therefore, around the death of Tarquinius, inter usually means while it's happening, with the Regina, the queen ad nitente, she was relying on, leaning on, or striving, substitutus, in his place of king, as if it was just for a time. Okay, so this is what's happening. And so partum, it means it basically was birthed, so by a trick. So he obtained the kingdom birthed by this trick. Thus, he conducted himself with a lot of purpose and industry, so that it seemed adeptus that he obtained it by right. Okay, so it was all the trickery of his wife who did most of this. And of course, they like these omens of like flames, etc. And you can read it in Livy if you want to go deeper. So I'll put partus here as the daily dictionary. You have nouns of birth and offspring, but partum is the supine form from pario, bearing, giving birth, begetting, bringing forth. Okay, from him, the populus Romanus, the Roman people, were related or enrolled into the census. They were digestus from digero, that's another supine form. They were divided into classes. Distributus, divided into decurius and colleges, just typical Roman words there. And with summa solertia, with the utmost cunningness of the king, thus the res publica was ordinated, or was controlled and put into these divisions, so that all patrimony, that's estates and inheritance, dignities of age, so you divide it by age as well, differences, disagreements of the arts and offices were referred or written in the tablets, and sick. Thus, Maxima, this great civitas, this great civilization, was continerented, it means managed or something here, with the diligence of a minima domus, like a small house. So it was very well controlled, is what he's trying to say. And that's it.